All right. Hello, everyone. My name's Jay. I'm one of the expert IELTS teachers here at e2language.com. If you don't know what E2 Language is, go and check it out. It's a really good website to help you to prepare for your IELTS test. But it won't just give you test strategies and methodologies, which are very effective, by the way. It will also teach you the fundamentals of English as well. So if you're looking to improve your English, check out that website. Do share it amongst your friends. Tonight, we're doing a deceptively, it seems easy, but in fact, it's one of the harder reading questions that you'll find in your IELTS exam. And it will appear, well, I shouldn't say this, but it probably will appear in every single reading test. That is IELTS Reading multiple choice. Don't walk away. I've got a great method for this one, which I want to show you, which will help you to select the correct answer. So by now you should know that there are 11 different reading question types or task types. So we've done a full circle. We're going back to number 1 to do multiple choice. Let me explain this task to you. It's pretty simple. You get the question here that says ... A, B, C, or D, and you just need to select one of these. So it's very uncomplicated, right? But what we want is a method that can help us to select the right answer more efficiently, but also just help us to select the right answer, because that's often very hard in doing this. This is the method. Read the question. Please read this question. Okay. Now what you want to do, after you've read that question and understood it, let's read it. It says research completed in 1982 found that in the United States, soil erosion, what? Now you'll locate a keyword in the question, right? Let's say you've located the keyword 1982, or it could be United States, or it could be soil erosion. One of those are certainly keywords, because next thing you want to do is locate that corresponding keyword in the text. See that word there, 1982? So you've found the part of the text in which you need to read more carefully to select the right answer. Now, you don't want to read the answer options yet, right? Don't get confused. What people do is they read the question prompt, then the answer options. By the time you've gotten to D, you're thinking, oh my God, I don't know what to look for. I don't know what I'm confused. What did the question ask again? Read the question prompt, locate the part of the text where you need to read more carefully. Then try to answer the question yourself in your mind by doing this. So research completed in 1982 found that in the United States, soil erosion, ... Then you read this part of the text and you find out what happened to soil erosion, right, in 1982. Then you go and you match your answer to one of the answer options. For example, let's say that in 1982 in the United States, soil erosion was eliminated as a problem. Okay, so you read that, the problem was eliminated in 1982. Okay, cool, I think I understand that. Now I go to the answer options. Which one of these says the same thing that I just thought of, that it was eliminated? And you go A, no, not A, B. Oh, B says it was eliminated, or might use different words, something like that, okay? So that's the method that you should use. That's the method that works. That's the method that we're about to apply right now. No, we're not. I'm going to give you a little disclaimer. If you get stuck, eliminate impossible answer options, because by eliminating ones that you know are incorrect, it will increase your chances of selecting the right one. Your answer sheet will look like this. So you're going to write A, B, C, or D on the answer sheet next to the numbers. Let's put this method to the test. I'm going to give you 4 minutes to answer number 1 and number 2, okay? 4 minutes to answer number 1 and number 2. Okay, that's 4 minutes. You should have done question 1 and question 2. It was quite a long period of time. We've got one more question to do. Stay with us, try and do it, because this is what it's actually like in the IELTS exam, and it's frustrating. You're probably sitting there, you're going, I don't know, I don't get it, it's confusing, but that's how you improve. You have to push through those frustrating feelings, those, I don't know, those feelings of confusion, and concentrate and look and try again and look again. I'm going to show you the answers in a second. We'll go through it in detail. Let's do one more question. You're going to have 2 minutes to complete question 3 here. Find a keyword in the question, find it in the text, answer the question in your mind, and then go to the answer options. Oh, I'm thinking, what's going on there? The clock has stopped, everybody. That's probably what's going on there. Cool, that's probably enough time anyway. Sorry about that, the timer screwed up. That's fine. Let's go through the answers, but I'm gonna break it down for you and get you to answer the questions. But before we do that, if you are not a subscriber, on your phone, if you're watching this on your phone, you've got the subscribe button, right? Look at all the, you've got the subscribe button here. Next to the subscribe button is a little bell. Make sure you tick that, so when we're doing a live stream, it will alert you that we're doing a live stream. So we did hit 100,000, which is cool, but we want more. So subscribe to this channel. Let's go through the answers. Number 1, research completed in 1982 found that in the United States, soil erosion. So in other words, what happened in the United States in 1982 to soil erosion? Well, the key word we found was here, wasn't it? Soil erosion in the United States, 1982. So we know we have to read around this section here. More specifically, we have to read this section. So forget the answer options. What happened to soil erosion in the United States in 1982? Well, it says the United States, where the most careful measurements have been done, in other words, the research, discovered in 1982 that about 1/5 of its farmland was losing topsoil at a rate likely to diminish the soil's productivity. Now, 1/5 is the same as 20%. So in other words, in 1982, 20% of its farmland was losing topsoil and diminishing its productivity. Now we go to the answer options. reduce the productivity of farmland by 20%. Well, no, it didn't say that. It didn't say it reduced the productivity. It said it reduced the 1/5 of its farmland was losing topsoil. So it lost 20% of topsoil. So let's stick with the 20%. C was causing significant damage to 20% of farmland. We can eliminate B because it didn't say anything about India and China. It didn't say anything about meadow or forest. It probably said something over here, but this is the key sentence. The answer is C. In other words, what's happening here is this statement here, that thing there, says the same thing as that thing there, but just in different words. And that's how the IELTS do the multiple choice questions. Let's look at, sorry, on your answer sheet, you should have written number 1C. Number 1C is correct. Let's do number 2. By the mid-1980s, farmers in Denmark. Okay, so we've got a great keyword there, which is Denmark. Okay, so we're going to look for Denmark. It might be a synonym like Dane or Danish. Mid-1980s might say something like 1985. But let's look for Denmark. And we can see Denmark down here. We can also see sort of 1985 here and 1984. The more specific sentence we need to read is this one. By the mid-1980s, farmers in Denmark, well, what did they do? Fertilizer use doubled in Denmark in the period 1960 to 1985 and increased in the Netherlands by 150%. Forget the Netherlands. Fertilizer use doubled in Denmark by the mid-80s. Fertilizer use doubled in Denmark by the mid-1980s. Here. So farmers in Denmark use 50% less fertilizer, use twice as much fertilizer, doubled. Okay, that's interesting. That could be a good one. Let's use B and let's look on. Applied fertilizer much more frequently. Nothing mentioned about frequency. More than doubled the amount of pesticide. Okay, let's go back. Let's make sure B used twice as much fertilizer as they had in 1960. They doubled the amount, fertilizer use doubled from 1960 to 1985. In other words, B, they used twice as much fertilizer as they had in 1960. This is hard, by the way. If you're struggling with this, good reason. It's really tough. This is an academic test. So if you're doing general, it will be slightly easier, but full on. I want to show you something. A little bit of a TV commercial. What I'm going to show you is E2 language. So this is E2 language and I'm logged in as an IELTS student. I just want to show you some of the features here. So it's keeping track of my score, which by the way, I'm doing terribly. Here I can register for all the live classes, which happen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Here I can book a tutorial. Let's say I'm going to book a one-on-one tutorial with one of the teachers. So I'll choose a day. Let's say I want to choose Tuesday. Let's say I choose a time. Perfect, 11 a.m. I want to focus on IELTS Academic Writing Task 1, and let's do some reading as well. I submit that, I schedule it, and it hooks me up with a teacher. I take a one-on-one 45-minute tutorial with a teacher on Zoom, okay? It's beautiful. Let me show you a little bit more. I hope this isn't boring you. Let's click on IELTS course. Let's click on reading. So here we've got all the different reading task types that I've showed you, right? Multiple choice, we've got the overview, we've got the method, we've got practice. Let's have a look at the practice. So if you are struggling, you probably need to practice. Here's the text here. Here are the questions. Here's the answer sheet, just like you take in the IELTS. So it's all digital and it's beautiful. Writing's the same. You can submit your writing through for feedback. You can also submit your speaking part 2 through for feedback. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. Let's push on to question number 3. So on your answer sheet, you should have C and B. Okay, number 3. Which one of the following increased in New Zealand after 1984? So what are the key words here in the question prompt? What would you look for in the text? Well, certainly New Zealand is a good one. 1984. But the key word that's driving this question is which of the following increased, okay, in New Zealand after 1984? So if we look carefully and we scan our eyes over the text, we start to see, we start to see the keyword New Zealand, we see the word 1984. We know we need to read this section here. So which increased? Let's read it. The most dramatic example was that of New Zealand, which scrapped most farm support in 1984. So scrapping something is not increasing it, it's decreasing it or eliminating it. A study of the environmental effects conducted in 1993, well, that's irrelevant, found that the end of fertilizer subsidies had been followed by a fall, not an increase, in fertilizer use. A fall compounded by the decline, not an increase, in world commodity prices, which cut farm incomes. Cut farm incomes is not an increase. You can see all of these words are here, but they're talking about declines, not increases. Let's keep reading. The removal of subsidies, well, that's not an increase, also stopped land clearing and overstocking. Well, stopping is not increasing, which in the past had been the principal cause of erosion. Farms began to diversify. Okay, so this little sentence here, this 5-word sentence, farms began to diversify, is the key sentence because that's the thing that increased after 1984. So let's look at the answer options. Farm incomes stopped or decreased. Use of fertilizer decreased. Overstocking stopped. Farm diversification began to diversify. In other words, it increased. So the answer is D. Your answer sheet should, my friends, look like this. 1C, 2B, 3D. If you did get that, if you got C, B, and D, put some sort of smiley face into the chat because you are officially some kind of IELTS legend now, because that, although it was multiple choice and it's a pretty simple question type, that was tough. Seriously tough. Seriously tough. If you need some practice, you know where to go. Cool, that's all. So, as I said, if you do need some practice, check out www.e2language.com, and I showed you what the inside looks like, so you now know what happens in there. We have tutorials, writing feedback, speaking feedback, and much more. See you soon. Thanks very much.